Nothing scripted here. Everything's candid.
Nothing.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Xander. I appreciate you guys all joining us for this special taping of Transformation Tuesday. It's Wednesday, so we're going to do it today, but it will air on YouTube on next Tuesday. So as we all know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Queendom Business has been doing many initiatives to remember those who we've lost to domestic violence and those who have survived, and just to spread awareness on how we can prevent these things from happening and moving on in our own lives. So I had a few different events over the weekend, a domestic violence rally on Capitol Hill, and on Sunday we had a car show to raise money for domestic violence awareness. And the funds that we were able to raise go towards Sisters for Life, and they're able to help different victims in the DMV area as they have to relocate or medical bills or anything of what they need. So on Sunday, I met Miss Tiah Speight, and her story is very unique because she was shot 6 times in an altercation that wasn't her own relationship. It was a relationship of her friends that ended her in the situation that she ended up in. So thank you for being here, Miss Tiah. Your story really touched me, and I wanted you to share more because, as I've told you before, the more you share your story, the faster healing becomes. And I want you to know that we're all here for you. And although your story is recent, your story of your new life is just beginning, and I want you to be a voice for those who may be going through it or who have dealt with something of the similar nature, so that they know that they're not alone and that there is help out here. So what do you do now? Tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up where you were.
Okay. I used to work in a nursing home, and that's where I started, in nursing homes, and then I ended up at University of Maryland.
You're muted.
Okay. Sorry about that. Am I muted?
Okay.
And I worked in 2019 as COVID just started. I started working at University of Maryland Capital Region Hospital, the new one that just built in Largo. With that, I was in school actually for surgical tech. And when we got to microbiology, I met this young girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but it was on COVID time too, so we just met over, online. The class was online, but then it's like 4 of us, like just started hanging out, like going to
So this is where the friendship began.
Yeah, the friendship began like that in school, and then we started meeting at Panera Bread to go around notes and study and things like that. She drew to me, and she was younger, so I didn't think of anything of it, and she had a baby, so we would go to each other's houses to study, take tests and all that things, but I still didn't pay attention. And she just started texting me and talking, and so I was like, all right. So we became friends, and I started watching her baby a little bit. Then, well, I'm just going to fast forward. Then one day she texted me and asked, hey, can you watch MJ, the baby, Friday? This was the Friday. And I said, okay. Well, I couldn't answer the phone because at first I was in surgery, so I couldn't answer the phone. So when I called her back and she asked, hey, I said, where's the baby? She said, well, I took him to his father. So I was like, oh, Lord, why'd you do that? I was going to get him. So then,
prior to this, did you know, when you said, oh Lord, why did you do that? Did you suspect that there were issues in their relationship, or?
Yes, I did. She told me after a little while ago, after a little while, she told me
Mm-hmm.
that she's in the military. So she told me she met this dude in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and, they're hanging out and they're kicking it and things like that. So I just told her, you got to be honest. If you don't want to be in your relationship with your husband, be honest. Go tell your commander, whoever, or move out. I told her to move out. She can't keep going like that because, he's gonna hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
Because prior to, she told me that he don't hit her, but he would get mad and really angry and throw things, like
Mm-hmm.
just throw things, like the phone or whatever. And mind you, she was in the military. Yeah, she's still in the military, and she was paying everything, like all the bills.
Mm-hmm.
The allotment was coming to the apartment they were living in to pay everything, and he had a child outside of her, and she was paying that child support for that child.
Mm-hmm.
So he was losing everything if she would walk away. So she said, well, I am in January when we're finished our finals, I will, January, I give myself January to move out and be gone and be done with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she was like, I want to take this and this. And I was like, well, you don't have to take all that. Just go. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just go. So when she called me, when I was supposed to have the baby, she had went to, I think they was
So
going to.
hold on. Prior to you giving her that advice, were you speaking from experience? Had you been in a domestic relationship yourself?
Yeah, I've been in a domestic relationship. This when I was like teenage years, like
Mm-hmm.
teenagers. My baby father, he used to beat me and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that kind of relationship. So, it was
Okay,
red
so you
flag.
were speaking from experience when you gave her that advice.
Yes, I'm speaking from a lot of experience,
Mm-hmm.
because at the time I didn't know she was 22 or 23.
Right.
So she was really
Okay.
young. And I usually get text messaging like, hey, I had a great time. I'll see you later or whatever. And I'm like, I wasn't with her today. Why is she sending me this text? But
Mm-hmm.
come to find out, he had access to her phone. So
Mm-hmm.
she would text me stuff like that when she was with him,
Mm-hmm.
her boo.
Mm-hmm.
So I like, hey, what are you doing? Why sometimes I would ask her, and sometimes, and when she told me, I would just play it along, like, you
Right.
still wrong. You gotta come up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So January was her date that she was going to exit.
Mm-hmm.
So she called me. Her and her boo thing went to Mass or nothing for the weekend, and that's why she wanted me to watch the baby.
Mm-hmm.
But she ended up taking him to the dad. So she called me around 8.
And is this she's not dating the dad?
No,
So this
she
is
was
another
still,
boo.
yeah, she was still living with the dad, but she wasn't living. They wasn't
But
living together.
she was dating someone else while still living with the dad.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And the dude, another thing was she was bold because she let the dude come over her house while her husband was at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her that too. Like that's scary. Like you
Mm-hmm.
really asking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So she called me. I guess this was around 8:30, January 15th, and said, "Hey, the dad is calling me to come get the baby, and I'm 3 hours away."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was like, well, you better go get him because I ain't going over there, out. And then she said, well, can you meet me there?
Mm-hmm.
And these were the apartments in Largo, Northampton apartments in Largo. And this was on January 15th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got there. We had a plan. I had told her prior to, we'll just call the police and go in. But I guess, she just wanted to go in, and that plan just went out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in. She was scared of him, and so she just sat down on the couch like real scared because he was questioning her, and she was, and I was looking at her like, let's just get the baby and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So they went back and forth, and he was like, well, you know what? He said, well, Tia, can you leave and let me talk to my wife? And I was like, and she said, no, she come with me to get the baby, and we're gonna get the baby, and we're leaving. So you know, finally, after all the questioning and she's sitting there, she got the baby. So she got the baby dressed, and we was going out the door, and I was texting my daughter who stayed out in the car. She was 19 at the time, who was out in the car with my granddaughter. My granddaughter was 2. You know, I was texting her saying we on the way out. So as I'm texting, you know, you're looking down on your phone, but I seen her stop as she opened the door, and she just stopped. And I'm looking up at her like, what are we stopping for? And then I just seen her face like, she was like, oh my God. So so what I did was I just happened to look around, and the husband come and stand between me and her both. When he stood between us, I just looked at him like, what? And that's when he shot me, like, in my leg, like, in my right leg, the femoral artery, I guess. And I just went against the wall. I just fell against the wall, and she was to the left of me. And she just started screaming, and she screamed my name. So he just stood over top of her and just shot her too. And that's when I just passed out. Like, I just passed out. So when I came back to, he was standing over top of me. I don't know if the gun jammed or he was just reloading, because he shot her 7 times. Like, bam, 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 bam. You know, because I was the last one to get shot. So he was standing over top of me, and then I just passed back out. And then when I woke up again, I guess he had shot me in my chest. I don't know where it was. It could have been my face. It could have been my chest, because I got shot my chest, my face, my arm, my back, and the back of my head, and my femoral artery. So I just looked up at him again, and he was pointing the gun back at me again. So I don't know if the bullet hit me before I shut my eyes or whatever, but I just rolled over to the wall to play like I was dead, because in my head something said play dead. So I just rolled to the floor to play dead. When I rolled to the floor, I seen blood, so I knew he probably had got me here.
So you didn't, your adrenaline was moving, so you didn't feel the other shot.
Right. I didn't feel. Only shot I felt was in my leg, the right leg. That's the only shot I felt. Then I just played dead, and then I heard him walk away. Like, very faintly, I heard him walk away because it was carpeted. And then something was like, now or never to me. And don't ask me where I got the strength. Don't ask me. I just got up. Got up, and as I was walking to the door, the house was pitch black, but it wasn't pitch black. You know, it was all the lights on when we got there, and they were still on, but I guess it was black.
Losing blood.
Yeah, it was really dark. So as I got up to walk out the door, in my head, I was like, they had a one of them doors that you set locks to, and then you open it. So I was just like, oh my God, I hope he didn't lock this door. So when I turned the knob, it opened. So as I was walking out the door, I got out the door, and I felt the door jerk back out of my hand. So I turned around, and me and him was actually fighting for the door. Like, he was fighting for me to come back in, and I was fighting for me to stay out. So we was going to the door back and forth. And then he reached his hand through the door and got the top of my hair to pull me back in. That's when I started screaming for my daughter. She was sitting out in the car. She heard the shots. She heard the shots, and she got out the car.
So she wasn't out there by herself, correct?
No, she wasn't out there by herself. The girl's boyfriend was sitting out in the other car, like sitting out in the parking lot also. And she got out the car, and I'm just going by what they told me now, because I don't remember this part. She got out the car, and he got out the car, and they was looking like, we heard gunshots. And that's when they heard me screaming for my daughter. Like, I'm holding the door, and I'm screaming her name, like, you know, screaming. So she came around the corner, and this is like 5 flights of stairs, like an apartment building. You go up 5 flights, then you have a platform. You go up another flight, you have a platform. So hers was at the top of the steps. So I was screaming her name, and she came running. Then she screamed. After she started screaming, the door let loose. So I guess he knows, like, oh shoot, somebody else, somebody else is there.
So
And
were you in fear for your daughter at that point when she ran up?
She didn't run up to me. I fell down the steps to her.
Okay.
And come think of it, he asked me when we were in the house who was in the car with me. Like, did somebody come out? So I guess, he had already premeditated to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was going to kill them
mm-hmm.
and keep the baby alive and put the baby in foster care. That's the story.
Mm-hmm. Because did you say it was a murder suicide? He was trying to.
Yeah, he had already premeditated it. He had the plan on the table because in envelopes he had on the table, thinking of it now, it was her birth certificate, his birth certificate, their marriage license. It was things on the table.
So he planned to kill her himself, and then you were just additive to. He didn't know you were going to be there. Okay.
And he kept, and before all the shooting happened, he had sat down. He was like, I got an envelope. He had a folder in his hand, and he was like, I know you cheated. I have the evidence right here. Da 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 da. I'm going to your commander in the morning. I'm gonna tell him. And she was like scared because she didn't know. She was like, that's my career. If he goes to the commander, that's my career. I don't. So eventually, when it all said and done, what was in the envelope was just the cell phone bill. That was it.
Okay.
So going back, so when my daughter came around the corner, she was screaming, and then I guess she left and she came back. But by the time she came back, I had took one step down, like just took one step down, and I fell down like 5 flights of stairs, like literally fell. So when I remember me telling her get the car, and I was wondering why I couldn't like scream out, like get the car. So she finally got the car, and they put me in the car, her and the girl's boyfriend. And as I was getting in the car, he ran back because I guess the girl came out. She had gotten up and came outside then, but she just fell. Once she got on the top of the steps like I did, she just like fell out. And
because
my daughter,
you guys were shot a total of 12 times between the two of you.
13.
Okay.
Yeah, she was 7 and I was 6. She got shot her face also. He shot her face and up and down her arm. And I think one bullet might have hit her side or something. So once they put me in a car and he ran to her, my daughter was screaming to him to come back and finish helping put me in the car right. So he came back, and as when they put me in the car and I was in right, this was on the passenger side in the back. So he went back to around the car. And as he went to take care of his girlfriend, the husband came out and asked him, what are you doing over my wife? What are you doing? He was like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Don't you see she's shot? And he had the baby in his arms then. And then I'm just going by hearsay. He turned around and went back in the house and put the baby in the crib and walked back out and just walked over the top of her and got in the car. So remind you, I'm still there. My daughter is still waiting to, I guess, to pull off. So as he backed up, I heard my daughter say, "Mother freaker fracker, why are you coming toward my car?" So he hit my car, but as he hit my car, the dude, her boyfriend, was coming around the back of the car. So as he entered the road from the back of the car, he hit him also. Like he hit him, so and he's still alive too. He's alive. He just
ran into your car.
Yeah, he just had a dislocated ankle. he rammed into my car because he didn't want me to make it to the hospital.
Right.
So he took all of like our glasses. He took our cell phones. Well, he took her cell phone. He didn't take mine because mine was in my pocket. And then he went to Virginia Beach where they live at. But as my daughter was driving me, she was still on the phone with 911, and they told her the police was coming and she had to wait. And she was ballistic by then. And
to wait.
She was, yeah, to wait till the police got there. And you know, she was like, "No, I can't wait." Da 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 da. And she asked me, she said, "Mommy, what do I do?" And I just said, "Go, like, go, take me to Largo, like, take me to my job, like that's where we're going." Because I work in the operating room, so that's what I was thinking. So the police pulled her. She's like, "Mom, the police behind me. What to do?" And I told her, I said, "Well, just pull over, you know." And I was just trying to stay as calm as possible, even though I was in and out. I was in and out, in and out, and I was losing blood like crazy. But I was just still trying to be, you know.
Because you hit an artery in your leg, right? So that's a lot of blood. And people don't live through that.
No. And the police came, and he just put the flashlight in the window, and he was like, "Follow me." So as we was going, I kept telling her, "Be careful, be careful, be careful." And we finally made it to the hospital, which was, I think, 4 minutes away. I think that from the apartment to the hospital is 4 minutes. And we got there, you know, they had already called it ahead and things like that. So once we got there, they, you know, they just took me in. Like immediately they took me in because they already said who it was. And my coworkers was already on standby. And this is about like 11:30 at night now, like 11:30. They were on standby. They was ready to go. And they told me that I coded twice. Like I coded twice. They were like really talking to me and, you know, just doing this. It was like, "We're not going to let you go. Come back, come back." So I coded twice, and I stayed in the hospital for, it was January 15th. It happened February 2nd. And I was on a trach. I had a trach also. My face was bandaged up. They said it would take me a year to walk again, which would be around this time. My voice wouldn't come back because of the trach, and that my mouth is crooked, but you really can't tell. I have like 3 nerves that go along your face that when the bullet went in, it took the nerves out and it came over this side. So, but I'm here.
Yes.
I'm eager to tell my story and try to help some other young ladies, men, about domestic violence. Even though I wasn't, like prior to I was, but you know, it wasn't nothing serious back then, maybe a smack or something, but still domestic violence is domestic violence.
Yeah, it escalates from a smack.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm just here to spread the word that.
So being in that position, like you said, it wasn't your relationship, it was your friend's relationship. How could, looking back on the day that happened, on that incident, what are some ways people, because you know my story and how my best friend was shot 6 times by her boyfriend, and I can only imagine if I lived next to her what the outcome would have been for me too. So how can someone help their friend if they see that they're in that type of situation? What are some things that you think could be a benefit to someone who has a friend in that situation?
I just think, like, honesty, for one thing, is you got to be honest. You can't leave things out and let the person just go in blinded. Because I found out after the fact that it was more to their story than she was telling me. It was more to her story, and not to be so friendly and not to be so quick to jump to help. I mean, have some resources, like, here, call this number, do this, call the police. And just listen to your intuition. Just listen to your intuition and just staying back but be close enough to like,
Be
hey,
able
I
to
got the
help.
police. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I just think. And not to be so friendly, just guard your guards.
You're right, right. So is there anything that you regret or that you wish you had done differently?
Um, I don't say that I regret helping her.
Right.
I don't regret helping her. Everybody come and say, well, because of you, she's still alive. In
Mm-hmm.
which I took 6 bullets for her, and all 13 probably would have ended up in her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, I don't think I regret
Mm-hmm.
anything, but I should have just been more vigilant and more cautious.
Right, right,
Yes.
right.
And it's just the female, and I'm just like, hey, females shouldn't be going through all this stuff.
Right, right. And your daughter was 19 at the time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was this 2022, so only a year has passed in that
Yeah.
time frame. How has that affected her and her coping and her grieving and moving forward?
She's a very closed person, but
Mm-hmm.
she'll sometimes open up.
Mm-hmm.
One of her trigger words that she cannot stand to hear is, I told her I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, you can't say that to her, because she said it starts anxiety. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she'll just start breathing hard and just like, oh my God.
Right.
And it brings back. And she goes to therapy. We all have like we go through family therapists. We
Good.
have a family therapist.
Good.
We talk. And I don't try to ask her her side, what she saw or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just let her come talk to me or tell me
Mm-hmm.
what she want to tell me. So, but other than that, she's coping. She's coping. She had dreams for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, she's rebounding. Like,
Good. Good.
she's getting better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Um, besides therapy, is there anything else that has helped you guys get through? Like, are you faith driven, or are you religion based or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was always into church, but now it's like I go to church more often, and I really understand it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also in for sisters for sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps a lot,
That's
because it
good.
takes my mind off of feeling like I have to look around,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in a restaurant, I have to find the exits, and I have to see, I have to map out a game plan. Like,
Right. Right.
I gotta map out the game plan. Like, I'm forever on guard. Like, if
Right.
a car comes flying past me and backfires, I'm just like,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, loud noises and everything is just
Mm-hmm.
not like, it's just, but I just try to put it out of my head,
Right.
because I don't want to be a victim. Well, not a victim. I don't want to be somebody that's balled up in their own
Mm-hmm.
fear. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I do um, take myself out by myself, starting to go out by myself, and
Mm-hmm.
just 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 know that it's the world,
Right.
and anything can happen. So I just make sure I just cautious, very cautious, and I don't go out as like I used to anymore.
Right. I understand. Having a support group and therapy, those are all great avenues to help you get through. Um, Ingrid asks, so she's in the military, and my best friend was also in the military when she was killed. The guy who killed her was in the military as well. So we see these things a lot in the military. And Ingrid asks, is the young lady with the child, is she still in your life? What does your relationship look like? And did she apologize?
Um, she did apologize. She did. The relationship with us now, I don't think it's really a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
She might call, and I just won't answer,
Mm-hmm.
because I started feeling like angry
Mm-hmm.
at her a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
She you know, she's still in the military. She's, you know, she went back full time working and all this. But me, I'm still under doctor's care.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I like the OR. I love the OR. I cannot, well, I can work in the OR, but it will have to have limitations that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't walk a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand a lot.
So your injuries were more life threatening than hers were.
Yes. Every 6 of the bullets that went into me went like the heart. Like it must have, like it missed the heart by like a string, like just
Mm-hmm.
string. It missed the jugular by a inch, like,
Mm-hmm.
and like the back of my head, it hit the back of my head, but it didn't penetrate.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit my back, and it just came shy. It stopped the shy from the spine.
Mm-hmm.
So any one of those could have put me out, like any of them. And like that's why I was so like determined to walk, to
Mm-hmm.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I did, the doctors were like, they was amazed, because I'm like, I'm determined to walk. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I'm determined to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Despite that, you know, I do have, like, now I have like a little stuttering problem,
Mm-hmm.
but you really can't hear. I hear it
Mm-hmm.
because I get fumbles over my word.
Mm-hmm.
I hear
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, and you know, just pain in my leg from nerve damage,
Mm-hmm.
taking like gabapentin and all this medication.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because, as I told you when we were at the car show, I used to work in the nursing home, so I saw everybody with trachs. I saw how they had to take care of them, wash them, bathe them. To be dependent on somebody,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it hit me smack in my face. Like everything that I've done in the nursing homes, wash, bathe, trach care,
Mm-hmm.
all of that, it had to be done to me.
Yeah.
So
You
to
never
me,
thought it would be. And what then you tell me about you were having a conversation with your
yes,
coworker? Mm-hmm.
yes. 2 days or maybe 3 days prior to the incident, we were sitting, we were sitting in front of trauma room 1,
Mm-hmm.
and we were waiting for they had already called trauma 1, and we were just waiting outside the room. So I asked my coworker, I said, hey, I wonder what would happen if one of us was to come into this room. Like, what would they do? How would they act?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she told me, she said, well, we do like what we do with everybody, save their lives, right?
Right. Right.
And 2 days later, maybe 3, I was that person that
Mm-hmm.
was there.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's always a shock to people, because like someone told me at the car show, on one of the kids told me that would never be me. And you always would think it would never be you, but stuff can escalate so quickly, and then even you, it wasn't even your relationship, so
no,
you never know the day nor the hour. And God was definitely with you. He protected you in all of those bullets that missed those major points that could have took you out, because you're here to share your story with those who are still going through it.
yeah.
Ingrid said, I'm so sorry you went through that and that you're still going through it.
Thank
And do
you.
you know if the military did anything?
No,
Because he
not for
wasn't in the military.
he was
So
not in the military. No, she was in the military.
so she's still in the military
She's
now.
still in the military. The last time I spoke to her was about 2 or 3 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
when the state, we were on the phone together. The state's the state's attorney called us on three-way because she was talking about the case.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's getting ready to retire. She did her 5 years and she's getting ready to retire. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I said I'm angry, kind of, sort of, because I can't go back to work full time. I haven't went back to work at all.
Mm-hmm.
And she can live, you know, her and her boo still together. They're
Mm-hmm.
raising the baby together. And it's like they went on. Like, I'm not stuck in no part of my story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stuck.
Mm-hmm.
But my anger comes from she lived her life. Like I can't go back to work until the doctor says, okay, hey, I'm gonna release you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I love the OR. Like the OR was my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was my dream. And now that, I'm not even gonna call it a disability,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just gonna say things that stopped me.
Right.
It stopped me. And maybe it wasn't the OR wasn't for me. Maybe it was in my head, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And another thing is when you have dreams and things come in your mind, just listen to those. Just
Mm-hmm.
listen to those. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had dreams prior to the incident, and they were the dream. It was happening in my dream, but I didn't pay attention. I didn't know what was going on. Why am I having this dream? Why, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So, and everything that was in my dream happened,
Mm-hmm.
like literally happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pay attention to my dreams also.
So you told me you had dreams of someone being shot in the head.
Yes. And one of my dreams, it was my boyfriend. He was standing at the back of a car, and I asked him. I said, I came up to the side, and I said, "What is going on?" He was like, "He's trying to shoot me in my head."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Who? What you doing?" And then he just went around, like he just left and went around the car,
Mm-hmm.
but never knowing that I'm playing my own incident out in my dream. I
Mm-hmm.
dreamt these things. So
Wow.
yeah.
My mom, Lavish My Prime, says, your strength is inspirational. God bless you as you continue your journey, because it is truly a journey,
Well, thank you.
which it is. So, what does your recovery, as in rehabilitation, look like? What do you go through what is your day to day? You said you're not working, so you can't work till the doctor says you can. What is your day to day life
Um,
look
I just try to stay busy. I just acquired my 3 grandkids,
like?
10, 14, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, having my oldest daughter's 21 now, my youngest daughter's 21 now. So for me not to have kids in my house, like
Mm-hmm.
to fully have to take care of them,
Mm-hmm.
it consists of 5:30 in the morning, getting them up, going to school,
Mm-hmm.
sitting down, doing their homework,
Mm-hmm.
whatever and however. And that helps me a lot
Okay.
because
It gives you
they're
something
my
to live
legacy.
for.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're my legacy. And it also affected them,
Mm-hmm.
even though, my older granddaughter's 14, she asked me questions still. So,
Mm-hmm.
she that happened. So, but
Mm-hmm.
day to day, I just try to stay busy, into clubs, try to go to the gym or ride my bike until
Mm-hmm.
my legs start hurting.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's, you know,
So as far as your health, how's your leg? How's your neck and your face? And you say you have plates in your face. Does it affect you eating, or just different?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I have to chew. The bullet went on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
It went over here, and it
Mm-hmm.
came in over. It stopped on this side. So
Mm-hmm.
this happened in January. They finally took the bullet out of this side in June.
Uh-huh.
June just passed.
Mm-hmm.
So now my whole left side is numb. Like you can pop me. I won't feel it. Like all of this side is numb. Like my gum is numb. My teeth is numb. If I'm eating, I would have to hold my hand over my mouth
Mm-hmm.
because the food will come out. And if it comes out on this side, I won't feel it.
Okay.
I won't
Mm-hmm.
feel it because it's numb. And a lot of times, my friends would be like, wipe your face. Like they'll tell me, wipe your face. Because I tell
Mm-hmm.
them, look, if we go out and I'm eating, you tell me wipe my face. Like, don't
Uh-huh.
have me sitting there looking like some sloppy Joe. And like, you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they tell me, I'm very conscious because I'm forever grabbing a napkin and I'm
Uh-huh.
forever wiping. And they'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, you're fine. But it's always that conscious anxious right there.
Okay,
Um,
that was going to be my next question. How has this helped your like self-confidence,
um,
self-esteem?
I used to, like I told you, I used to be conceited. Let me just say, I used to be conceited. Like they say, red people are conceited. That's what they say. I don't know.
I don't know, because what you told me, it might be true.
So I just used to think like my face was like everything to me. Don't touch my face. Don't do nothing to me. Like leave it alone. But now I don't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard while I was in the hospital, beauty for ashes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now this, and I used to be like, oh my God, I got a scar. I woke up, my face was all bandaged up. The trach was there. I had an NG tube in my nose. I was like horrified. I was, I couldn't talk, but I was trying to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to say, like, what the, look at my face. Nobody's gonna like me.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I'm sorry, but fuck these scars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't care about these scars now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I got 6 bullets and I'm walking, I'm talking, and I'm here. So these scars is just a story to tell. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to be so self-conscious of once my trach healed, I used to always wear a shirt over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want nobody to see it. But it's okay now. It's
Yeah,
just a
because you've
story.
been through.
It's a
Yeah.
story to tell. And I could have been gone, but I'm thinking he wasn't ready for me. I had a
Nope.
purpose, and I think the
Mm-hmm.
purpose was for my 3 grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just walking in it, and I ask them every day, what is the purpose, and lead me and guide me to people that's going to be in my path that, that's going to help me and to guide me also. The Serenity prayer works. I love that prayer. That's my go-to prayer, Serenity. So,
That's
yeah.
good. That's good. Thank you for sharing your story. Like,
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciated it. If there's anybody out there that has any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them. I know you guys been leaving them during. Um, do you have any parting words that you want to share?
Um, I just want everybody to not mind your business, but mind your business.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody, I'm sorry, I'm all in the dark. And if somebody, I'm sorry, and if somebody says they really need help, I mean, don't help them physically. Just go and like, hey, I got some resources for you. I got, or call the police yourself. Like, just mind your
Mm-hmm.
business, but don't mind your business. Don't get
Right.
into no domestics of if it ain't yours. Don't get in it.
Right. And I shared with you the story of my best friend and how one of amongst our culture, if we hear people arguing, we be like, that ain't my business. Like I'm gonna
Or
turn
look
the
out
cheek,
the
turn the TV up.
blind.
Yeah. And when my best friend was arguing with the person she was dating, somebody called the police. And because they called the police, when he shot her, the police were already on the scene, and she wouldn't have lived the extra 30 minutes that she did live if the police, to be able to identify who killed her, if the police hadn't already been there. So I always thank that person for calling the police when my best friend was arguing with that guy, because I know me in my past, I have gone and listened to people arguing and I did nothing. And I always think about that, and I'm like, I mind my business, but I can't sit around and let the same thing happen to somebody else. I'm gonna call, and I don't care. It's not like they gonna tell who called. I don't care. I'm going to call. So yeah, that's some very good advice to share, because that's very important to me now. Very important to me now.
Another thing is where they lived at, he had gotten into so many altercations with, it's mostly women was in the building, that nobody even came out when I was screaming, when I was outside the
They
door
were
screaming.
scared.
They didn't come out. And yeah, he got in so many altercations with them that they didn't even want to come out. Like, they were scared of him. So, and they didn't come out. They said they never came out. So
yeah. And Ingrid said, yeah, it's not our job to cover up someone else's foolishness. Is do your part and carry on. So what happened to him?
he's in jail. We supposed to went to trial in September, but they trying well, his attorney is trying to say he's not with
Criminally
it.
insane.
Yeah, like he don't know. I do that. Who are these people? I don't know these people. What? How did I do this? What did I do? You know, that's why he's trying to say. But um, he's more vigilant with the child case, like the because she's fighting to change his name and to have full custody of the baby without him. But he's fighting for that. But he's
So what is he
mentally
fighting for if he's going to be in jail? How can he have custody? What exactly is
exactly
he fighting for?
not to change the name,
Okay.
and when he
Okay.
gets out
Mm-hmm.
he wants to be in the baby life, but he didn't take the plea deal. What was on the table was one count 18 to 25 to life, and he was like he don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's gonna have to do all 3 counts of um what is that called, murder, attempt murder,
Mm-hmm.
attempt murder. He gonna do all 3 counts of all attempt murder, but he's just playing crazy. So they moved it to January until because they did all these tests on him, and they just waiting for the test to come back.
Okay. So you're going to have to testify against him.
Yeah,
So are you preparing? You're in counseling to prepare to be able to testify and all those things?
I hope so. I hope I don't run and pop him when I see him.
Right.
I don't know what I would do, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just ready to get on with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So now it really don't bother me now. Like whatever he's out there, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can go on, but I don't know what I'm gonna do when I see him.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Because
And no,
he took
you
my
can't.
life.
Yeah, you can't predict what you're going to feel, how you're going to act. The best thing you can do is just, get help leading up to that so that they can kind of prepare you for what to
Yes.
expect. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's what I do. So I just stay busy, and if I'm not busy, I'm just in the house. Like, but it's getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's a day by day thing. The medication they give me, I don't take them because I don't think you don't want to be a zombie walking around all day. And I take a lot of medication. Like they gave me a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, and I don't want to take that. So I just cope with it on my own. But I do take the gabapentin for the my nerve damage, because that being out in the sun, and then when the sun hit my leg, that's the worst feeling of all. So, so yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being a guest on the Transformation Tuesday podcast. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing your story. You are
Thank
truly
you.
a woman of strength, and you already know why you're still here.
I don't even know. I don't even know where I got the strength from. I don't know. I really don't know.
I think I might know where you got it from.
I think so. But I try to continue.
So is there anything that you do for fun? What do you do now for fun? Have you been able to get into a space where you can have fun?
I went to the beach this summer.
Okay.
I like to go to like the events, like I wanted to go to the Foam Glow. I bought the tickets and everything for Foam Glow, which was Saturday, but I think it rained out. But I like to dance, I like to read. I'm in school getting my bachelor's degree.
Good.
In social work.
Okay. That's good. Oh, that'll be great for you.
Yeah. I want to be helping someone. I just love to help people, but I want to help them with resources to get a way out or get what they need and help somebody else.
Okay. That's good. So do you feel like your life, it will never be the same, but do you feel like you're kind of becoming back into some type of sense of normalcy?
Yes. Like I told you on Sunday, the person that I was couldn't come this far. It had to either die. That person had to die, and this new being has a rest. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm more an advocate for a lot of things now that usually I'll just shrug off and be like, oh, okay, domestic violence, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
you know, homelessness. Oh, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm just like, hey, I just feel there, you know, I have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Well, thank you so much. I would say thank you about 20 times, but thank you so much. I truly appreciate you, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you.
Um, yes.
Thank
So if you got
everyone
anything
that was
else,
on here. I just thank
yes,
everybody that was on here and listening. Thank you.
yes, yes. So I will upload it, and it's going to premiere on the YouTube channel on Tuesday. What's that? October 17th, I think. I think on Tuesday. Yes. So yes, your story will be shared with the world. And I always say, if I can't make it to everybody, at least I reach one person.
One
I saved
person.
one life. I did my job. I did what God put me here to do. So thank you for sharing your story, and I hope you have a good night.
You
I'm going to
too.
give you some of your time back. Go watch some Netflix.
Thank you. I don't look at TV. I take that stuff to bed with me. So
I know, me neither. I don't
no.
watch much TV either. I don't like stuff to saturate my mind.
No.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.